let's go to the new products lady.
New products. New products.
Yeah. Now that I got the audio with all of our stuff now, I can work on the new products
New
song.
products. Yeah. New products. It's time for new products.
Okay.
Okay.
First up, we have
John in the store now.
We're selling John. He'll come to your house. We have the Transistor Man shirt in 4XL. So
yes.
By popular demand, a lot of people asked for it, and we got them.
And the print is really big too, which is cool.
Yeah. Next up, these are in stock now. These are the Xively packs that
starter
we put
kits.
in. Starter kits.
Yeah,
that we
so
put in the store.
it's a mbed and an ARM. So the mbed, which is I'm covering it, and the mbed application board, which you plug the mbed in. And it's like a no solder, like audio, Ethernet, USB, LCD, potentiometer, RGB LED, accelerometer, all sorts of stuff. Sensor board that you can plug it in, and it's basically a no solder way to get started with Xively, which is the new name of Cosm, which is the new name for Patch Bay, which is the correct way of saying Pachubi. So if you've ever used Pachubi, Patch Bay, or Cosm, chances are you're going to be using Xively. And Xively now has a starter kit. We're doing it with them. You get a free Xively account, and when you buy all the stuff, it's also a little cheaper than just buying it separately. So it's a good deal.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Xively.
Okay. Next, these are fantastic.
Handy.
So I'm going to show all four, and then we'll go to the overhead.
Well, there's two, but there's 4 photos.
Yeah.
Oh, and the little adapters too. You want to show? No, you should just show these.
Yeah,
these are.
Yeah, these are the
2.1 millimeter jack and barrel connector, 2 alligator clips, and I'll show them on the overhead. Or you can just show the photos. The photos are really good.
Okay, we'll show them. I mean, we haven't overhead.
Well, I'll show them.
I spent a lot of time setting up these cameras and make them work. It's hard. Yeah.
Well, let's focus.
Yeah, we should focus on these new products.
Okay, good. Let's focus. So yeah, this one has a jack connector, so you can like plug a power supply into it, and it will turn your power supply into like a like it'll turn a wall adapter into like a benchtop power supply where you can then like plug it into and then attach to your circuit. And then the other side is the 2.1 millimeter barrel plug, also 2 alligator clips. And so this is really good for if you have like an Arduino or like a BeagleBone, you want to run off a battery pack. You can use this to connect like some wires or battery pack or solar panel or whatever without having to do any more wiring. So it's just a very easy way to
someone wants to know how good are the alligator clips?
These are excellent alligator clips. These are the best.
Are these Lady approved?
These are custom made for me.
Okay.
So they're like nice molded connectors, and they have a little bit of heat shrink here. It's kind of hard to see, but they have a little heat shrink to protect it. And they have good strong wires. I mean, this is the best.
Yeah.
Lady approved. Lady designed.
Okay.
I spec'd them. They made them.
Okay. Next up. Here are these are super handy too. You went on a handy binge.
I went on a handy binge.
Okay. What are these, Lady?
So we have the first 2 of 4 USB shells, and these are kind of like for making DIY cables. And we have USB-A male or plug, and we also have USB micro B, which is commonly used for phones. So one you can plug into a computer and one you can plug into a phone. And then let me find where they are. Oh, here they are. So it comes with like 3, or in the micro B case, it comes with 4 pieces. 2 shells that snap together. The metal piece that goes in the middle. And the thing that makes this nice is it's very easy to solder to the tabs. So on said overhead. Why is this so dim? So this is the micro B shell. So it's a micro B connector, and it snaps into the shell. It only goes one way, so if I get it wrong, I just have to do it the other way. Hold on. Is it this way? 1 second. This half. Yeah, it goes into this half. And then you can solder. There's like 3 tabs on this side and 2 tabs on this side, and they're actually fairly simple to solder too. You can do it without like super fine pitch soldering tools, and then you can snap this closed, and then you can reopen it if you just pry on it a little bit. But then you have a micro B connector. So this is like if you want to connect to your phone or something, or you want to make your own charger or something, and you want to have it plug into micro B. Micro B it is. And then we also have USB A which is what's on your computer. So if you can plug this into a computer. So very similar, there's 4 connectors over here. It fits nicely into this shell. And then you solder your wires, and then you can close the other half, and it's nice and protected, and you can make your own USB cables connector. So this is actually like, these are pretty handy. Like if you never needed to connect to USB stuff, you might be like, well, like why don't I just get a cable? But if you ever need to like for example, I was working with a microcontroller that had a USB connection, and like I was working on a breadboard, and this allowed me to just solder some breadboard wires to this, and then I could plug into my computer. I didn't have to like make a PCB with a jack and all this.
So where do you? So you can just solder wires directly on here.
Yeah,
that's what you do.
You can solder wires into those 4 little connectors, and it's much easier than if you take a cable and then you strip it, and then you have to connect to it, and then it's like it can break, and then you need heat shrink. This is like solder and go, very easy and very fast.
So
yeah, you can see the 4 contacts. So they're brought out, and they're easy to solder too.
That's cool.
Very handy.
All right.
Very handy. And then you can you can take it apart after you're done. Like I just took this apart. Like it's not a permanent connection. I mean it's solid. Like it snaps, but you can pry it with a fingernail to open them up.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we got these.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just show one of these.
Yeah.
I'll show the.
I'm gonna show all the photos.
Yeah, this is just a longer version of the Litex wire that we have the shorty version. This one has way more LEDs. It has 30 LEDs. It's 1.5 meters long, and it comes on a spool, and it's quite nice. And we have it with white LEDs on black, which is this, which shows up very nicely. And there's like LEDs every like 2 inches or something. And then it comes with a little battery pack, and it has a couple different modes, like a flickery sort of star mode, flash on-off mode, a sort of pulsing mode, and then a really, I think it's either really slow pulse or it's just like half brightness. So yeah, so there's a couple different modes. And what's nice about this is it's completely fabric ribbon, so you can stitch this onto clothing or fashion or projects. It's basically just fabric with the stainless steel, and then the LED is bonded on and then covered with some like epoxy. So I don't know, I mean I wouldn't like go crazy washing this, but you can hand wash it without a problem. It won't run while it's wet because it's the wires or the thread is exposed, but you can put this on a project, wash it afterwards, and it'll work just fine. Just dry it when you're done.
Okay.
Yeah,
this is good stuff.
And then we also have it white LEDs on white fabric. This is on the black.
Very cool.
Okay, I'll put this away.
Yeah. Next up, and I got to tell everybody, get ready. You're going to be blown away. This next thing is so cool. This is, I think, kind of an Adafruit classic.
Oh, hold on. So this is the art, this is John's like best photo ever. So this is not a Photoshop job. That is actually a photo of a 7-segment RGB LED. Somebody emailed us and suggested we carry this, and I was like, that is so cool.
Just look at it.
Just look at it for a while.
Just look at it.
Just look at it. And then put us there. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. So each of the 7 segments has an RGB LED in it, and it's fairly bright. This is 1-inch tall digit, so it's kind of big. It's actually kind of the only size they had. They didn't have any other sizes. So you can change the color of any segment totally individually, which is really neat. So you can like do weird stuff like make this image. The only thing is that it has 1 anode and 21 cathodes. So you need like something that can drive like 21 LEDs at a time. So we don't have a backpack. We're kind of looking in, maybe gonna have something. Until then, you can use a couple 555s, chain them, or like if you just have a lot of pins on your microcontroller or an I/O expander.
Does the decimal point light up, or is that just...
The decimal point does not light up. I don't know why they designed it, but they have the dot there, but it doesn't have LEDs in it, and like they don't have that as an option.
Maybe they just use the shell.
They use the shell from something else.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, doesn't make... I'm not so into that, but this is the trade-off. This is the only place I could get.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I had like 16 suppliers of 7-segment RGB LED things that I could choose. This is the only one I could really get. So this one doesn't have a decimal point.
I'll show.
But it has 7 segments.
I'll show. Do you want to show this on the overhead?
Yeah, I can show this on the overhead. Whoa. So it's so bright that I actually have to diffuse it. So I'm going to take a little piece of paper and I'll diffuse it. So yeah, this is the. Well, maybe it's so bright I actually need to diffuse it twice. So yeah, you can see the RGB. I mean, it's really, really bright, so it's kind of like too bright. But I'm doing like a color cycle, so you can see the segments change color slowly. And there's a lot of pins on this guy. So on the back, you can see just like how many pins. And I have this controlled by a PWM driver. But yeah, it's just a lot of pins. But it does, this is the way to do it. If you want to have an RGB, 7 segment, this is it. We don't have an Eagle part for it, but we do have the data sheet and everything. So hopefully somebody will make one, and then, or we'll make one eventually, and we'll see if we can figure out a way to make a backpack for it.
Yeah. Here's some more photos of it with it off.
Yeah. So yeah, this is an easier way. You can see all the pins. It's not breadboard friendly. There's a decimal. Decimal doesn't light up.
Yeah.
And check the data sheets for more specs like actual brightness per segment and pin out and all that. That's in the data sheet. I don't have that memorized, but yeah, you can make that RGB. So yeah, this is kind of neat.
We'll see who comes up with the first RGB LED clock, and
Yeah, I mean they are a little bit pricey. I kind of wish I could have gotten them for a much cheaper price, but it is a rare, unusual thing. And the market for these is very small. I've never seen these in any product. So, yeah, they're a little pricey.
Beautiful stuff.
But they're beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. And then we have 2 more things. Do you want to do the updated product, or do you want to do a new product?
New. Let's do new.
New first? Okay. All right. This is a big deal, too. This next one's a big deal. All right. Here it is. It's a push button.
It's a push button. Yeah, this is actually, some people in the forum were talking about this a while ago, and I was like, I'm actually working on something like that. This is a toggle push button for fairly high voltages and high currents. So this allows you to push on, push off a power supply, 3 to 14 volts, up to 3 amps. So it's pretty beefy, but I want to make it also small enough that you could fit on a breadboard. It comes with a 12mm tactile button that snaps in, but you can also put your own push button in. But yeah, you press once to turn on, press once to turn it off. And there's also an off kill switch. So when that off pin, which is the 4th pin down, is connected to a high voltage, like pretty much any voltage above 1 volt, it'll automatically kill the power. So it's a way for projects to turn themselves off, which you can't do with a mechanical on-off switch. So the 2 benefits are, it's compact, it's simple operation, and you can have a kill switch, so you can force it off. If you have a mechanical switch, you can't do that. The trade-off is, however, that it uses a pass FET to turn the power on and off. So there's no air isolation, which for some people they need to have an air isolation. It needs to be completely isolated. This doesn't supply that. If the output is higher than the input, the body diode of the FET will turn on, and so you'll get back leakage. So that's kind of rare, but if you have a project that has something like that, not a good idea either to use something like this. It's limited in voltage. You can only use it from 3 volts to 14 volts. Actually, it works down to 2 volts, but the spec for the NAND gate that I use is 3 to 14, so I'd say 3 to 14. And the pass spec can do 3 amps. You can actually maybe do a little bit more, but 14 volts and 3 amps is at the max. Other than that, it starts heating up quite a bit.
Okay.
So I can do a demo.
Let's do a demo.
Let's do a demo. Move this thing out of the way. So I'm actually going to demo, and I'm also going to use the, so this is a big reel of LED stuff, LED strip, which is a great load if you need a load ever. And I'm actually going to use my,
Yeah, I'll get us.
Yeah,
we're out here.
Actually, so this uses the that barrel jack to Alligator clips. And I'm going to plug this in. And then this is connected to the LED strip over here. And then I'm going to power this. Hold on. Okay. So, ooh, super bright. So when I press the button, it turns off. Wait, sorry. My wires are coming loose. Okay. So I push to turn it off, and the camera freaks out. And then I can push to turn on. You can see over here there's a red LED that turns on. I added a red LED so you know when it's powered, which is kind of nice. And then this is that kill line. So if I touch this to here, it automatically kills. And then I have to press again to turn it back on. So you can turn it on by pressing the button, turn it off by pressing the button, or turn it off by raising the off or kill line high. So it's kind of an easy way to like add a pretty intense power controlling switch to a project if you want an elegant push button or you want it to be on your breadboard. It's nice and small and kind of handy. I like the kill switch because for some projects that you want to turn itself off, it has that ability. And it's all analog, so it's pretty simple. And it doesn't use a lot of current, so the quiescent current is like 0.5 microamps, maybe even less. This is the max. According to the data sheet, the max is 0.5 microamps. So you can use this for a battery-powered project.
Okay, next up. Updated product.
Okay, so yeah, we've got a LiPoly battery, so it's for charging LiPo batteries. This is the charger, and it has this really big capacitor, which is a stabilization cap. So it is necessary for solar because otherwise, solar is so unstable. You need a big capacitor. Every solar charger out there that's worth its salt will have a really big cap. It has a load output, which is kind of nice. It'll automatically do load switching. So instead of charging and discharging the battery, it will shunt the load from whatever your power supply is. DC jack for solar, USB also if you want to power it from USB. I'm going to charge it from an Arduino. I'm going to fake it. I'm going to fake it till I make it.
Someone wants to know why not use a solid cap instead?
Electrolytics are solid.
Okay.
Okay. Not sure exactly what the question is. So this is the red power good LED, and then there's a yellow charging LED. When the battery is fully charged, the LED turns green. But we'd have to wait a while. So we're not going to hang out for that. But you also have to believe me, it turns green when it turns on, which is really nice because actually you know when your battery is fully charged and you can go use it. So this is really nice. It's for 5.5 or 6 volt panels. All the panels in our store are 6 volts. You have to use a 6 volt panel. The way the solar charger is designed, it can't use 12 volts, it can't use 3 volts, it can't use 7 volts. 6 volts, you can use 5.5 volts, but that's really rare. Just so you have a 6 volt panel kicking around, or you can get one. And it uses not max power point, but something close enough that you get all the efficiency benefits of max power point without the expense of like a buck converter and like stabilization and like a jitter source, whatever. Max power point, it's like not worth it really until you get to like 10 watts of solar. So this is very good for like 1, 2, 3, up to 5 watts. It's just as efficient pretty much, and it's perfect for charging LiPos or...
Does it trickle charge or does it keep it high? How does it charge?
It just charges the battery. It charges the battery as much as possible from the solar cell. It does this neat trick where it pulls as much current as possible while keeping the solar panel above a certain voltage. It has a built-in feedback loop. So it'll trickle charge if you don't have much light, but if you have like good sunlight and it's directly in the sun, it will like full-on charge it up to 500 milliamps. And if you use our, like we have a really big solar panel, like this big, it's like a 4-watt panel, and you can get about I got like 500 milliamps out of it in sunlight here in New York.
I remember we did it on the roof.
Yeah, we went on the roof.
Yeah. Okay.
On the roof. So it's updated. We have tons in stock. Yay, it's summer. We'll be actually doing some neat projects with the solar charger now that we have them in stock, and we can make them so much better on our new pick and place.
Okay. That was new products.
Yay, new.
All right, we got through it.